It's the eve of the draft. You better get excited. I'm sure you are already. You might not be a complete degenerate, but I am. I've been doing these mock drafts since October of this year. I'm going to present to you some information, some of the data that I found, and we'll see which players might be values. It's the NFL draft today. Hopefully, you enjoyed the show. Let's get started. All right, here we go. You could just see me here in my little circle here. You see I've got Cam Ward pulled up. Let's talk through how this works. It's pretty simple. You can see here that I've got where Cam Ward was drafted in every draft that I had a guest on the show. Now, this is not just me mocking these drafts, it is a different individual each and every time. And of course, you can see just below me what the number said right after the combine. So let's get into it. I've got the quarterbacks and running backs to talk about today. If you enjoy it, I've got a breakdown of the wide receivers and tight ends as well. So please leave a comment. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content, and I'll bring more to you. Of course, we want that like and subscribe as well. So welcome along if you're new. Welcome back if you love the Dynasty Hot Seat. Let's chat about Cam Ward, shall we? You can see that 100% of all guests drafted Cam Ward. He ended up with an ADP of 4.6. The anomaly there at 19, that was a 1 QB draft, so we can kind of remove that. You can kind of see post-combine Cam Ward going at 1 and 2 and 3 overall, which is kind of the trend the whole way through. At the start, you've seen him going 6 or 12 or 9, but for the most part, you're going to have to pay up with your first, second, or third pick to get Cam Ward. So if you're on the clock and you're sitting at pick 4 or 5, you're noticing Cam Ward hasn't come off yet, pretty good value you're going to get there. We know he's going to go number 1 to Tennessee. So if you're sitting at 4 or 5, you see Cam Ward is available. That seems to be the value pick according to the rest of the dynasty scene. Shedeur Sanders, again, what we expect, 100% drafted. Average draft position, 6.4, so noticeably lower than Cam Ward. And you can see here that these numbers are going up, which we don't want to see for a player. Shedeur Sanders, you can see all the way up here, 9, 13, and 8. Whereas at the start of the year, he was going at 4 or 2 or 3, even 1 overall in some cases. Now, does that mean there's maybe some value in there for Shedeur Sanders, that while people were watching him when he was playing college football back in October, November, we've seen people take him at 2 and 3 and 1. And now, after the season's finished, after we've seen the combine, he is slipping down to 13 in some cases, or more likely, you see him going at picks 8 or 9. Is there an inherent value there? Are we suffering from prospect fatigue? You can see, look, all of those numbers in the middle, 1, 4, 4, 5, 4, 3. People thought he was that good when he was still playing in college football. Could Shedeur Sanders be an excellent value? I suppose the draft will tell us. I'll do another one of these after the draft as well, so we can compare pre and post draft, which is always interesting to see. Shedeur Sanders could be a real value. Jackson Dart, really interesting data here. You can see for the first couple of weeks, nobody even took him in the first 2 rounds. He did not appear. Only 33% of guests even took him at all. And you can see it's all come in the back end of the last few drafts. He seems to be consistently, reliably going at the end of the first round, maybe at the start of the second. You can see he had the highest position of 7, and of course the lowest of completely undrafted. He's going all over the place. He's a bit of an anomaly. If he gets that first round draft capital, I think you must take him in the first round, and I'm sure the data will start to agree. But Jackson Dart creeping up on people's boards. The most interesting player at the quarterback position is Jalen Milroe for sure. 62% of people ended up drafting him. His average draft position is technically 12.1, but that is not factoring in when he wasn't taken at all. So you can see when people want to take him, they love him. He's gone as high as position number 2, as late as undrafted, or at the very back end of the second round. You can see post-combine, we thought that was going to do wonders for his numbers. He didn't do it. What a crucial mistake for Jalen Milroe. I know he did his pro day, but man, he should have done that combine. That would have done wonders for his average draft position. You can still pretty steadily get him in the second round. We'll see what draft capital does, but Milrose, someone I think, man, he's worth the swing in the second round. As you can see, back in October at the start of this grid, when he was playing, people were taking him in the first round. Look, 6'2", 10, 6'3", 6. That's when he was playing. People loved him, and then, maybe the people that don't watch college football as much got their hands on the tape and started poking holes in it, and he started falling to 19 and 18 in the second round. His performance has also dipped as well, but man, Milroe is definitely worth a swing in the second round, if you ask me. Someone that people were happy to take in the early first, you could now get in the second. I'm all over it for sure. On to the running backs. Caleb Johnson, 66% of people taking him in the first 2 rounds. You can see fairly steadily the last couple of weeks he's been going in the first round or very early second as well. He's gone as high as position number 3 here. So some people really do love themselves some Caleb Johnson. He's slipping a little bit, I would say, whereas before he was looking at that position, that 9, that 8 that we see the last 2 weeks. But yeah, look at that, 14 and 12, we see him quite go. So I expect him to go the back end of the first, a guy that obviously some people value immensely, but some people didn't even have in their first 2 rounds at the start of the year. Next up, Ashton Jeanty. No surprises, 100% drafted, ADP 1.5. He's going number 1 overall in almost every single scenario, never further than pick number 3. Seems fairly consensus now that he'll be the number 1 pick overall, and you can't really go too wrong with that. Not too much to say about Jeanty. Marion Hampton's had a hell of a journey. 80% drafted. Sometimes he fell outside of that 2 rounds, but you can see the last couple of months, 4, 3, 4, 4 post combine. And even before that, he was steadily creeping up, went as high as 2 overall, with the great John Bauer taking him there. He's not going to fall to 12 or 13 like we've seen. But does that mean there are some questions to ask about it? Why was he falling so late when he was playing college ball? Is it because people hadn't seen him yet? Or is it the people that were watching it at the time? Because those were the guests I had on, obviously, the people that were watching it. Is there something missing that they didn't see for a Marion Hampton that has suddenly come to light post-combine? Or are we getting carried away with the hype? I personally think he's good for these numbers at 4. 3 maybe a little bit rich, but 4, 5 is a great spot for Marion Hampton for me. Can't wait to see where he ends up. Next up, we got Trevion Henderson, a guy that I've got slightly ahead over Marion Hampton, which is great when you look at the data because 71% of people drafted him. 6.5 is his average draft position. You can see post-combine, you can get him as late as pick 8. He goes up pick 5, pick 4. That's been fairly steady. You can see before that, even before the combine, he was going at pick 6s, pick 5s, as late as pick 9 or pick 11 at the start. Sometimes he just went undrafted completely, which is probably during his slight injury scare that he had, and he wasn't quite fully up to fitness. But I think since the college football playoffs began, you can see 9, 8, 5, 5, 6. Trevion Henderson, if you can get him around that pick 8, you can see post-combine, that is an absolute steal. I'm happy to take him at pick 4 and 5 for sure as well. But if he falls to 8, you're getting an absolute bargain for sure. Quinshon Judkins, his teammate, 95% of people drafted him. Average draft position slightly lower though, 9.5. He's been slipping a bit. You can see post-combine, he's going down to 10. Even in the weeks before that, he went as late as pick 16. I'd be shocked if you can get him that late in your drafts. Pick 6 for Quinshon Judkins, little rich for me, but that seems to be where he is going post-combine. You might be able to snag some value there, seeing he went at pick number 10. That's pretty nice for me for Quinshon Judkins. So just watch out if you're thinking about taking him with the 5th or 6th pick. That's not quite what we've seen on the Dynasty Hotseat, where people are taking him, where the experts are coming on and grabbing him. So just be wary. Cam's got to be a really interesting guy. Obviously had absolutely nothing, and then you can see the college playoff started, and he went as high as pick 10. Garrett Price from Dynasty Nerds grabbing him there. A voice definitely to be listened to. So he is very high on him. He, of course, went in the first round as well. Only a few weeks later, he sort of settled nicely into the mid to late second round picks. So I think that's great value for Cam Scadaboo. Average draft position at 16. I'm happy to pick him up at pick 16. Yeah, I think that's great. If you're on the clock there, absolutely take Cam Scadaboo there. Devin Neal, just a slightly lower average draft position at 16.8. You can see again, he was undrafted a lot of the time towards the start, but he's fairly consistently getting second round draft capital. Some people even sneaking him into the first. So that's something to take in mind. If Devin Neal's on the clock, remember, there are valued members of this community who are happy to spend a first round pick on Devin Neal. If you're sitting at pick 17, 20, 24, you've got a real good player there. I've even seen instances, you can see that 0, he missed out on the first 2 rounds. If you can get Devin Neal in the 3rd round, I think that is an absolute bargain for your teams. Make sure you're looking out for Devin Neal. Dylan Sampson, the next running back, only 33% of people took him in the first 2 rounds. A real nice prospect. Was the beneficiary over at Tennessee of having less than accurate quarterback, we'll say. Still raw, still green. So he got a lot of action, a lot of touches, especially around the goal line. I don't expect that to continue at the next level. I don't think he quite has the size and frame for it, but a real solid prospect. You can see average draft position 17.5. Some people have him going the very start of the 2nd round, some at the very end, and some outside of it at all. He's another example. If you can get Devin Neal or Dylan Sampson in the 3rd, very, very happy with that. At the pick 13 and 14, a little bit rich for me, to be honest. A little bit rich for me, and I think the rest of that data shows it. So I wouldn't be spending a high 2nd round pick on a guy like Dylan Sampson. The last player that we've got here is Ollie Gordon. 38% of people drafted him. You can see as high as 10 whenever, Ollie Gordon was still living off the reputation from last year, I suppose, but he's looking like he's going to be a late 2nd or 3rd round pick. He is living off his performances from last year. He did kind of come to life a little bit towards the end of the college football season. I thought he had an okay combine as well. Ollie Gordon, a guy I'll be keeping an eye on tonight at the combine, making sure that, well, not tonight. He's not going the 1st round, let's be honest. But the next few days of the combine, Ollie Gordon, I'll be keeping a close eye on. If he gets a good landing spot with good opportunity, I think he could still make it at the next level. He's shown he can do it. Man, something was just off this year. So hopefully he can get in the gym, around with professionals, get back to the true form that we know he can do. Average draft position of 20.6. I think you can get him even later than that. Boys and girls, that's all I got for you. Just a quick snapshot of the players drafted on the Dynasty Hotseat at the quarterback and running back position. If you're thinking, oh, Mags, where was this guy? Where was that guy? Didn't have enough data. There wasn't enough people that took him for me to really say, this is the average draft position. This is where they're going. This is what's happening. So that means you're going to be able to get them in the 3rd or 4th round, which is great news for you. If you love a player and you're thinking, where is it? You can get him in the 3rd. You can get him in the 4th. Let me know in the comments if you think I've missed somebody out. Hopefully I've not gone and missed somebody absolutely obvious. This has been a fun exercise, just comparing all of the great guests that have been on here, just going over some of the simple notes and showing you this is what the people are thinking over time. These are the players trending upwards. These are the players trending downwards. I've loved having each and every guest on the show. There's more to come after the draft. Don't worry. We're getting straight into it right away. Again, let me know if you like this kind of snapshot, this quick 10, 15-minute videos. If you do, I'll show you the wide receivers and the tight ends as well. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, maybe see you soon with some more Dynasty content. See ya. Bye-bye.